followers. I think we
Does it
should
go
put
live on Instagram as well?
no, but I watched my followers going up, and it went over 200, and now Facebook has just gone over 200.
Nice. I
Look,
can see.
yeah, we are here again for another episode of the Business and Property Entrepreneur Podcast. In this episode, I mean, who doesn't want to do this? Who doesn't want to go from £50 to £50,000? And this one's going to be super cool. So looks like we're streaming across multiple platforms. Some people are just joining. If you are watching or listening to this live and the platform you're watching it on allows you to put hashtag live. If you're watching it on the replay, put hashtag replay. Because you're going to be in for a treat. Yeah. So today's guest, as you can see, her name is Marcelina. Marcelina is going to tell us a little bit about her background and her story, but also basically what has been going on, all the twists and turns when it comes to being and investing in property and building, getting property deals basically and raising finance. Because this lady here, she came over to the UK to do business or film studies. It was film studies.
Yes, media and film.
Media
Good
and
evening.
film studies. And then from the grace of the Lord, you somehow found or started looking for a job and you found a position with a company called Real Life Group. And this Real Life Group company so happens to do training and assisting people to be free financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Just from being behind the camera, just from recording our events, being at our events, recording online training programs, content for online across all of the channels that we do that you guys have probably seen. Marcelina has been able to go from not even having being able to raise any money, but eventually you got £50 on a credit card to now raise over. Why does it say 50K? Because you said it was over 70K, right?
Well, it
Yeah.
was 50,000 investor finance exactly, and then I have, utilized credit cards a lot more since then. So overall, it would have been just above 70.
Fantastic. To raise over 70,000. Hey, listen, type in the comments if you think this is going to be good or you would like to know as well how to get your first property deal going or your next property deal going and raise the finance to get fully funded as well. Yeah, let us know. Yeah, connection should get better. Yeah, you can see and hear me okay, Marcelina? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, but you are definitely cutting a little bit on the
But you
image.
can hear.
Yes.
Well, as long as people can hear you, that's what's important. Yeah, so give us a little bit of background on you. Who was Marcelina growing up as a child? What is it that you wanted to do, and how did you end up doing this?
Well, good evening, everyone. First of all, my name is Marcelina, and thank you for having me here on the podcast. And thank you for your intro, Mark. And who I am or who I was growing up. Yeah, I was just like a crazy tomboy boy child climbing on the trees when I was a kid. And I think that has taken me somehow adventuring around all sorts of creative things in my life. I played in theater, I played with photography, I played with video, anything creative, dance that I could find that was not maths or I don't know, physics or biology or something I liked. So yeah, I played a lot in theater when I was still in Poland, but then when I moved to UK to study, I chose to study media. So that's when I turned more into behind the camera. But still, when I was in Poland, I did like films in our schools and all sorts of things. I always kind of played with all sorts of great creative things, and then when I came to study in the UK, I think then I got a bit more direction into what I could actually focus on, and I chose to focus on video a bit more of all the things that I have ventured with. So that's kind of the story of how I got myself into UK first of all, and then found a job with real life.
So before, so you were started applying for jobs, but like, what is it that you really wanted to do, or what direction were you looking at that time? Yeah, like I don't know if you can trace back at that time. What is it that you were looking to do? What direction you were looking to go in?
Well, I just wanted to work in video because in videography, because social media, I could do all sorts of things, but I really always loved telling people stories and in general telling stories through video. And obviously, with that comes video editing. So it was around lockdown still when I was looking for a job. I found a job with someone else first, but then that didn't work out because of lockdown and it closed down and everything. And then, yeah, I just wanted to get my first proper full time creative job in videography because until that point, I have graduated, lockdown, I gave myself a break for a bit, and then I was like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do something properly,
Yeah, but
not just part time.
when you say just to get into videography, like, did you have any sense of direction at that point? Because I know obviously, we work on a lot of this about goals and what you want out of life. But did you have any of that before? Because you keep saying I wanted to get into videography, but like, what was the goal of that?
Yeah, I didn't really care at that point what I was going to be filming, I guess. I just wanted to get an actual full time job because up until that point, I was only working part time because I was still studying. And then I do videography projects for other people on the side. So since this was basically my first proper job, like in the field that I wanted to work in, I was just like, let me just try and get what I can as long as it's within the field that I enjoy. And then I guess we'll see from there.
Mm. And what was your, because yes, we employ a team. We have lots of people working with us, but obviously more so we build communities to assist people to be free all over the world, right? So, but like, I'm just interested. I think other people, let me know. Are you interested in like what the interview process was like, and Marcelina's journey in the beginning of that? Let us know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. Yeah. So, like, but you say you didn't really have any other jobs before, but you'd obviously been through the interview process because you did kind of have that job, but then obviously the company, shut down, you said. So what was it like, and what was the impression of the whole, situation?
I mean, I had a lot of experience with working in media and video before, but I never had like a, full time thing. So I always thought, that let me start with something that will be full time. And when I remember, because when we had the interview, I think I spoke to the previous employee, then Amber first, and then which was, fine and great, but that was a bit quicker. And then I spoke with you as the main director of the company, and we spoke for like 2 hours. I don't know if you remember, but I do. We literally spoke for 2 hours or even more, and I remember I had to go and like get my laptop charger and all that. I was like,
Was that
Jesus.
it was on Zoom, yeah, not
Yeah.
FaceTime?
And I was like, and we talked about you were asking, I remember you were asking weird questions like, do you like music? And what do you think about importance of music? So you were literally just like asking a ton of questions that I understand now, knowing who you are and like where it was all coming from. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was quite cool because we did end up talking for ages, and I got to know you a bit more and what the company was about. Obviously, I did research before I kind of applied and then had a conversation with you. But after that, I was like, okay, this is interesting. This guy is interesting. Let's see what can happen.
Mhm. Yeah, so then coming into the environment, like what was some of your first things that you were exposed to, and how different was it, if it was different from what you were used to?
Well, the story goes I started my job, and 2 weeks later, I was thrown into working at our 4-day event at the time called Property Wealth Turbo. So, if anyone has ever been to that event, like has idea what happens there, I literally have not been in an environment like that. I barely just started working, and then I went to PWT. So that was super cool, actually. And I think that was really good because I really got thrown into knowing very well what is it that we do. And I think like at the end I was like, oh my god, this was like the time when you go camping with your friends and you never want it to end. And like my mind was just completely blown out. And I really understood what I got myself into. And I was like, this is freaking awesome. I'm really happy that this is where I ended up because it's starting pretty cool. So
So at that point, did you start to click on to like what, like the people who were attending the program, the people who are part of the real life tribe? Did you start to kind of click on like, oh wow, these like what their guys are doing? Like how soon did you click on to what results people are producing and the lives they were living?
I think like overall I'm a very open person. So when I got to be at the event and do behind the scenes filming and photography, like obviously I would have listened to you and everyone else that was training at the event. So all the knowledge got through me, and obviously I was speaking to people. So I very quickly understood what you guys are, well, then, like what was happening and what was the company about. And I was like hooked straight away because I think, I was kind of into growth and development most of my life. So but before I started the job, I think I took a weird corner and I was slightly lost. And then when I found this job, then and we got to the event, I was like, wow, this is making a lot of sense. I really love this environment. I love what you were training, what the vibe was, what like growth was happening there, all sorts of weird things that were happening. I was just like, yeah, this is my vibe. I'm loving it.
So back then, did you ever start looking at like, because obviously then you would have not just seen people at events, you would have seen their progress. You see people come in totally brand new, and then within a very short space of time, start raising money, find deals, build, multi-million pound portfolios, start being able to do what it is that they want to do. Like, was any of like that interesting you, or at what point did that start to intrigue you?
Yeah, so I think, as I assume a lot of people know, I also always knew that property is a good investment, but I never really knew any details or been in an environment ever to find out more. So it was really interesting to start to learn, the insights of what could be possible and what strategies are there and how much money you can make. And, it was all very overwhelming to hear at one time then, but it started to click as like, okay, this is interesting. This is what's possible. This is what I could do. And I remember I think it was straight up from this event because we obviously promote coaching, and you were coaching people then. And I was like, well, okay, this coaching thing seems like I would probably need it if I wanted to do something. So that was, I remember, also one of the things that was like, wow, I wonder if I could do something. And I think I started to ask you pretty like early on of having this job, like, can I get some coaching? Can I do something where I could like get some of that? So you sold that well to me as well. So, but yeah,
I, I,
to say,
I sold it to you.
yeah.
Okay, so I remember actually you had a partner a while ago that you were with, and you actually invited them to the event.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what happened there? Because I think they had some influence on you.
Yeah, so I think I was asking about coaching for like very quickly, and then we were having brief conversations, but then I thought, like, would I do it alone? I probably wouldn't want to. It's better to do it, with other people, kind of divide the work and that. So yeah, so I invited them to the event, and I think they really kind of got hooked into the energy and the tribe and our community. So then we decided to, try doing it together. But obviously, as things go, sometimes kind of find your different journeys. And yeah, we decided to kind of separate that story. And then, yeah, and then that I was left on my own anyway. And I wanted to continue, so I still had my coaching. So I was trying to figure out how to do things on my own in between, but always still in my head there was the space where I was like, okay, I can continue on my own, but I would love to build a business with someone else where I can find someone that's on the same level as I am, that wants to grow with me, that I can bounce off of, that inspires me. So that's kind of where things started and then ended and then continued, I guess.
Yeah. So you were always like, we were recording content, or we'd be recording something, or be visiting on a property, or obviously sometimes we go on tour all around the country, seeing all of the results that people get. And you would always ask me questions. But like, was there a point where you're like, look, I got to do this? And actually, was there a tipping point that enabled you to start getting the results? And if so, what was that?
I don't think there was a tipping point. It was just the how do you say it? Kind of the compound effect of everything that I have started doing. Because I think when I first started working with you, I was in a very lost place, and there was a period of time where I had to like do a lot of work on myself to be able to come back to like have my own confidence and strength, and all the sort out my mindset to be able to believe that I or like commit myself to taking a lot of action towards this financial future and freedom. So since I started coaching, there was at the beginning, there was a lot of sorting out personally, mindset, and everything else. And then towards the end of last year, I think it was just the compound effect of all the trainings and all the events that I did. Like it was literally 2 years of nonstop self development, and seeing results of everyone in the tribe. Because I was like, right, if they do it, I can do it. And I kept seeing it, I kept seeing it, I kept seeing, like you said, we would go and film, we would go and see results. I would speak to those people. So it was like in my face every single day. So I knew I could, but I just needed, I guess, that time to figure out who I was again. And then the compound effect of that gave the results of where I am now, I think.
Because I know you've attended some of our programs, but not any of the business or property ones. You've never attended them as a
Yeah.
participant. Other ones, yes, you have. I get that. So like, are you saying that it was just purely like you hung around the results or people getting the results long enough that it just kind of caught on? Or was there anything that enabled you to go out there, get that first deal? Now, obviously, you're doing deals in the UK. You want to go do it in Poland. You've already started to raise money. So now you're not just looking that it's possible for someone else. You now believe that it's possible for you. Was there any moment that was like, yeah, I got it, like I'm moving?
I think, yeah, I can't think of like one specific thing in one specific moment, but the continuation of being with you, being with our community, and obviously having coaching, because all throughout those 2 years, I had coaching and accountability and reminder of the direction and of the goal and, where I wanted to go. And then we did the coaching training that I took a part in as well. So I think it was just like everything combined, being surrounded by such successful people on daily basis, and they live to such a high standard that I could kind of not fail around that. Having you, having the partner program, having the coach, having the community, there's just, yeah, no way of failing as long as I kept showing up.
Yeah. And that's what we say, by the way, as long as you do keep showing up. Yeah, so as long as you keep showing up, one of the guys, Brendan, he said, is if I hang around a barber shop long enough, then one day I'm going to get my hair cut. That's how he was saying when he's comes to the events and comes over and over again. But tell us, like, what was the process like then? Did you raise the money first? Did you find the deal? Like, tell us about the deal you just did. How did that work, and what the results of that look like?
So in my case, I guess there was many deals that we were looking at, but I think the energy really shifted when I got the investor finance. Because, and that's not to say that you have to get the money first, then a deal, or I think everyone is on their own journey. But for me, yeah, just things shifted when I finally got that first thing from an investor. So having someone believe in me and trusting me in like giving me their money to invest, obviously there comes a huge responsibility with that as well, that I need to make put that money into work because I am promising that person a return on their money. So at the end of last year in December, I got the first investor funds of the 50K. So that's the 50 to 50. And then yeah, and the really serious search for the first deal started. And then at the beginning, I think it was the beginning of or end of February now, we got the first rent to SA.
Very good. Now, just tell us, because you had some challenges and this whole £50 thing. Just explain that a little bit, because obviously you came from Poland, yeah, and you came over here, and a lot of people, they're like, Mark, can I do this if I don't have good credit, or if I got bad credit, or my credit's not good? Like, can I still do this? So just explain how that was for you in the beginning when you were trying to raise some finance there.
Yeah, I think like I was always sort of a decent person to manage money, but I come from the background of being like, no debt, no mortgages, don't take anything, blah, 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 just pay with cash, make the money. But then obviously, me working with you and being at every single event, and you teach about credit cards and all different ways of financing deals and utilizing debt and what's out there. So I think the openness that I have was like, okay, trust this guy. I can see he's doing, he knows what he's doing. He's telling other people they're having success. So let me see. So I applied for the first credit card. Like you say, I have lived in the UK by that time for a bit, but I haven't, I barely had any bills on my name or anything. So my own bank has given me £50 credit on my first credit card, which was freaking hilarious. Because I was like, what's even the point of that? What
So
can
you
I
couldn't get
do with
credit cards.
£50?
Some people wouldn't give you the credit cards, right? But then eventually somebody did give you one
Yeah.
with a £50 limit.
And it's like, then they say you can only best utilize only 25% of your credit. I'm like, what am I going to do with 25% of £50? So,
And
but I mean, it was the first one. So I started to like go to Aldi and pay for the shopping and pay it back and pay back. So I started the game. I started to do what you said.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You just got to start taking the action. So tell us that story, because you heard me. We train people. We've obviously utilized many different ways to create finance and raise finance, like many creative ways. I mean, sometimes just in one event, in one little exercise, sometimes we come up with 15 or 20 ways to raise money. But just tell us, one day you came to me, asked a question about how I teach people to get like 0% and all of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you remember. So tell us that story.
Well, what Mark is referring to, that we film a lot of videos about credit cards, plus we teach it at the event. And every single time I would hear him talk about credit cards, he would say 0% credit cards, 0%, 0%, 0%. And I think it literally lasted like a year, or I didn't even know how long. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? What 0%? But, I kind of got the context of whatever I was editing or listening to, and I just kind of kept going. But then it was, for some reason, I think it was, I can't remember what it was about. It was some sort of training where I really needed to understand what that meant for a video that I was editing. And I like sent you a voice note being like, what is, now I'm saying north, but then I said in voice note, what is north percent? What the hell are you talking about? And then I got a lot of laughing voice notes at me because it wasn't north.
What did you even think that was? North percent?
I
Like,
had no idea, literally. I had no idea. But I kind of like didn't need to ask for whatever reason until that day. And I was like, I really need to understand it for the video now to explain. And then I was like, yeah. And then you explained it wasn't north, first of all, it was north. And that means zero, apparently, in some weird English language that I just didn't know about because I came from Poland. So that was jokes.
yeah, so zero. I should say 0%.
Yes.
Yeah, zero. Yeah, but that was very funny. But one of the things is like, because another thing that stops people is they think they probably need to know too much, or they've got to be an expert, or they look at someone else doing it and they say, "Oh man, they got it figured out. They got it." Yeah. So what would you say as like, have you got it all figured out? Did you wait till you knew all of the steps, or like what enabled you to take the steps to get your first deal over the line, raise it? Like, what was it?
I would say obviously to those people not to wait until they have everything figured out because you never will. And I think what has allowed me to take the steps is the confidence in being surrounded by the people that are already 1,000 miles ahead of me, that I'm friends with in a community, and I could always ask them questions, have their support. One thing. Second thing, obviously, having you somewhere in the background and listening to you all the time, and obviously having the coach. So, like, I think for me, it was just the confidence in having the support from literally every imaginable angle on that journey that I'm on. So if anything goes wrong, I can always ask 1,000 questions even before I take the step. So then I know that whatever I'm doing is backed up by, I don't know, quite a few different opinions and experiences of the people that have already done what I'm just doing. So, yeah, I think that's what has always given me the confidence to take the steps that I'm taking right now.
You just reminded me of something you said. Oh, it was the consistent listening over and over and over again. I actually just posted rlu.app. You could go download Real Life University app, where we got like, so many different programs to help you financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's a cancel anytime subscription, monthly subscription. Like, you should go check that out, even if you just want to do it 1 month and then cancel. Order the magazine, you get a free magazine as well. Just click the link, after this or whenever it is that you want to go and see that, to see what that's all about. So it's not just this though, is it? It's not just now you're building passive income. You've already freaking started to go travel everywhere already. You've been building in your path and your plan in terms of how you want to continue to work with the Real Life brand and what we're all about. But what has this now opened your mind up to, and what goals are you starting to set yourself in life and in business?
I think I remember one specific thing when I was at the beginning of working with Real Life and like voice noting my mom about all sorts of experiences. The biggest difference that happened since I have been around this environment is, I always had like plans for life, but I never knew how or if it's possible to do it. But since I have started to be in this environment, it became very clear to me that yes, it is possible. And it also started to become very clear how. So, like I said, kind of been on a 2-year journey already through all sorts of training that we provide, um, all sorts of training that, people that we work with provide. And yeah, it has become very clear as to what my mission in life is. It's very clear what vehicles are going to take me there. Um, how I'm going to, utilize my skills and my passions to fulfill that mission. And it's just like, the path is very clear. Like there's no more, there is a lot of distractions along the way, but like the goal of where I'm going is kind of literally right in front of me because I have my vision board. So, yeah, I'm just very clear as to what I'm doing in life, I guess.
Yeah. And some people, they say like, it's so funny because, already hundreds of people and thousands of people are already doing this in the UK, investing in real estate, making it happen, and getting good results. But then there's still people in the UK who say, you can't do it, like this can't be done. But you're also planning now to start doing this back in your homeland, Poland. Yeah, I just spent a weekend in London, or 4 days in London. We were training people, and we got people in Germany, we got people in Luxembourg, Belgium, Holland. All these people, because of the principles that we teach are not just like rules and regulations specific. It's specifically about, you got to find the gap. That isn't like a gap in the market, like as a niche that's hidden. That's basically just a gap between what a property can be worth versus what you're going to buy it for and renovate it for. Yeah, very simple process. I'm sure there's some videos on YouTube somewhere. In fact, if not Marcelina, let's get more on there. Yeah. But in fact, in this video, you should let us know, like, what do you want more videos about? Yeah, because we'll do it, because I want to give you for free. I want to give you the insight, so then you can start getting committed before you start putting money down to get the training or get the education. How about test it for free first, then you start paying for it. Like, try before you buy situation. Yeah. So what's your goals around going back to Poland, and how do you see that you're going to use these principles that we've been teaching to go and do business there?
Yeah, I think it's fair to also say that I'm already using them because, fortunately, in my family, we have always had um, kind of family essays. So, like Airbnb, you would say nowadays, my grandparents built this holiday house by the sea. So, we had this in the family for years, ever since I was born, and my mom is running it now. And I literally, just before this call that we had a call with her where I was utilizing all the knowledge and the spreadsheets and the, fancy kind of figuring out average rates and all that stuff, to make our, occupancy and performance of that better. So that's how I'm already doing it. Plus, I'm giving my mom loads of advice with where she's at now with certain properties that we already also have sitting in the family. But moving forward, since we, have had this Airbnb in our family since I was born, this is kind of the direction that we want to grow in as well. So we, because obviously we know that model, we have been doing it for years. We love the place that it's in, so we would just like to repeat it. And we have a really good combination because obviously I am surrounded by this community. I have a lot of knowledge and gaining a lot of experience here. My mom is there on site. She loves taking care of that stuff. And then she also has a partner that is incredible, incredible builder. So moving forward, we just want to repeat the model, and like it's basically like this kind of 2-bedroom house with a garden and everything. So we within the neighborhood of that, there is a lot of houses that are the same, that are going up for sale. So we just want to buy them refurbished and kind of repeat the model. So yeah, that's how
Brilliant.
we.
Yeah, I was just going to say, give us some specific things that you've already started to use to improve with your existing properties.
We're in Poland.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think exactly just being aware, for example, how to free up time for my mom when managing it. Right now, we're looking at a management company that we can pay a percentage to, that they can take on and, put it on Airbnb booking and everything. Because up until this point, we have been doing it ourselves, and it's kind of a challenge and a bit of a pain. So that's what I'm advising her on, and we're looking at what's out there in Poland. It's kind of the same system. And then yes, similarly with knowing how to ride the waves of average rate. So we want to utilize the for the house to be rented out most of the year, so raise the occupancy. And with that comes knowing your average rate and being able to do different pricing depending on the months and the dates. So I'm helping her with that and utilizing that knowledge that I've got. Um, yeah, and probably all sorts of other things, but that's kind of what comes to mind so far that we're already putting in place and see working.
Yeah, good. And the reason I asked that is because even just a couple of days ago when I was in London, people are there, they're asking me questions about real estate in other countries and all the rest of it. And some of the things are like, yeah, they're trying to do it by themselves. Yeah, because here's the thing, starting out is one thing, but I said it in the room when I was there. And I said, like, most people, especially if they already have their own home or they have other properties already, investment properties, they're already financially free and they don't even know. They're already, sitting on a gold mine, but they just don't know. And one of the things was somebody came up to me, they said, yeah, I got this house, it's in Israel, there's a problem, I'm not making money from it, X, Y, and Z. Anyway, very quickly, we just established what the value of the house was, what was owed on the house, how we could go and get a mortgage on the house, get tenants in there to pay the debt down. So they're going to pay the debt down, because the tenants are going to pay the mortgage, and obviously it's going to be a small little profit, but only tiny profit. But that wasn't the point. The point is to get the money out, so they can refurb it and make it look all sexy, so that it's a long-term tenant's going to stay there. But then the rest of the money, which is going to be around £170,000, they can now go and do deals in other countries or wherever it is that they want to do it. That's going to start getting them 100% return on investment. And if you understand what 100% return on investment is, it's basically doubling your money. Yeah. So if there's anyone on here, put it in the comments, message me. Yes, I want to double my money. Yeah, because that's my aim. When I'm doing deals, I want to double my money. Yeah, I don't want to buy a piece of real estate and wait 10, 12 years for it to double to then what? Have to sell it? Like what? I just waited 12 years to sell something, or maybe I refinance it. And then I just got to look, like, if you want to sit on something for 12 years, then do it. But I'm talking, when I'm talking ROI, I'm always talking in a year as well. Like 100% ROI in 12 months time period. Yeah. So you're dead right, Marcelina. These can be used all over the world. And I'm super excited for the handcuff video to be coming out and the handcuff TV series. What was it like filming that? Did you learn anything there?
Well, it's fair to say that I raised money while we were filming it as well, didn't I?
Oh my God, can you believe this? So you're there at work,
Yep.
yeah, you're being paid to be there, record this TV thing that we just want to release to inspire people that they can do it. And then all of a sudden, you also raise money while you're there filming the show. That is insane. So here's another thing you don't know about. I don't know if you know about this yet.
Mm.
Because of all the questions I was getting asked of how to do it in other countries, that's it. Next handcuff one, we're gonna fly to a random country in a random city. I'm going to handcuff myself to a random not obviously they're going to know about it. That would be a bit weird if we just handcuffed to a random person in the street. Yeah, but they're obviously going to apply to want to be on the show, and we're going to go to any country, anywhere, any place, any time, and get a freaking property deal done, and we're going to fund the deal, or we can't take the handcuffs off. And that is my motivation to get it done anywhere, because I know this can be done anywhere, and I think the world deserves it. society deserves better standard of accommodation, because let's face it, so there's a lot of accommodation out there. The standard is rubbish, and tenants are not treated well, and people like landlords complaining they're not treated well. Yeah, but that's why, because the landlords are not treating the tenants well. So with all of this inspiration, with all of this experience, any parting message you would like to say, Marcelina?
I just wanted to say, if we're flying somewhere else, let's do it with my mom, and then she can't speak English, and then I have to translate, and that would be a hilarious thing in itself.
You know what? That might be a good shout, because the only thing is that'd be challenging, because how would we? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good
Because
idea.
I bet she would be up for it. She's, I get my crazy from her, so that would be a lot of fun.
Like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's give me some food for thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the next level, I think. The next level. Yeah, but first let's do it in an English-speaking country, and then the next thing is handcuff me to someone who don't even speak English, and we do translation, and we still get deals done.
Yeah.
How about, yeah, and even the people that we get the deals from don't even speak English, so we have to do it through translation.
Yes. Well, if we go into another country, yeah, it would have to be that way anyway.
Listen, yeah, I'm up for the challenge. You know why? Because I built many businesses that, where we've grew from nothing to millions of pounds. And in one of the businesses, I actually built a French team, and we did over €1 million in sales. And I don't speak French. So when they're on the calls, or they're telling me what the customers are saying, I gotta just rely on what they're telling me is what is being said. Yeah, but yeah, we was to be seven figure. It wasn't a business because it was a team within our business, but still, it's a 7-figure team through translation. Yeah, let us know in the comments if you would like to see some of these things. And by the way, when can people expect to see the broadcasting of this amazing episode, the first episode of the Handcuff series?
It's this Sunday or Friday, I think, right?
Are you confused? You don't know which one it is?
I think 15th. Which one? What day is that? Is that Friday?
15th is, according to my records, 15th. That's like the first day of the Property Entrepreneur Bootcamp.
Yeah, because I think the idea was that obviously we're going to premiere it at the event as well.
Oh, news to me. Yeah, okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so for this Friday. But I guess saying, like, following up on what you said, that just shows that the formulas that obviously we teach are literally translatable in all the languages in the world.
Boom, that's it. So well done so far on your journey. We'll obviously get an update as you keep spreading all of the positivity across Eastern Europe as well as the UK. So I just want to thank you for coming on, sharing your story. I think we've had some comments all the way through that people are inspired by this, and they think, oh, if this lady don't even realize what 0% is, and she thinks north, east, south, west percent, then if she can do it, I can do it. Yeah, so we have this. So thank you for coming on and helping everybody. We have a saying in our community, and if you get this wrong, I'll be
Fired.
very insulted. We say you got to do the right thing for the right reason. Why is that?
Because that is the only way you discover your true potential.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.